G'day folks, Ben from Snowies today showing you how to set up and pack away the Yowie Slim rooftop tent.
Hit it.
The Yowie Slim rooftop tent features a lightweight aerodynamic design, bounced on either side of your vehicle to easily adapt to your setup, and features LST technology to block out the lights and a comfortable 50mm rebound foam mattress. Before we dive in, we've got loads more content like this on our channel, so make sure you like and subscribe below. Now let's jump into the product. Hey folks, we are down at the Sydney 4x4 and Outdoor Show. Into full swing here right now, plenty of noise in the background. We're on the 23.0 stand, shooting videos on all of their awesome rooftop tents. And this is a latest version of the Yowie called the Yowie Slim. I'm showing you how to set this up and pack it away today. So the slight changes between the original Yowie and the Yowie Slim is that this is now only 28 centimeters in height, and they've worked to really bring this profile down and reduce the roof weight of the tent. It measures 168 centimeters in length, 135 centimeters in width, and the beauty of the Yowie is that we've got this set up such that it will open up this way now and hang out this side of the vehicle, but it's symmetrical, so we could spin this around and have it open up on the other side of the vehicle as well if we wanted. So when you're mounting it, you don't have to worry about which way the rooftop tent opens. Now this is a lightweight polycarbonate shell that makes lifting it up and down really easily, and the total tent weight is about 76 kilos, and that includes the ladder inside. Now setting it up is really easy. There's 4 latches on the sides. Now all the latches look like this with this locking pin here, so I can't undo this until I push the button on the end here and release this locking pin out, and I can now pull this latch open and the tent starts to lift up. I've got 4 of those, 2 on this side, 2 on the other side to undo, and then we can push the tent up. That's our last latch undone, and the gas struts, if we just give this a bit of a gentle nudge, will take over and the top will lift up automatically. Once that section's done up, we've got an elastic strap here that we need to pull and just loop over the bottom of the tent. This just pulls all the fabric in while it packs away. So just loop these into the rail, well actually just around the bracket at the bottom there, just so it sits down and out the way. Now the next step is to grab the ladder. That we need the ladder to fold this second part of the tent out. Now an important step with packing this away because of the slim profile is to make sure this frame here sits down over the ladder. So we're going to lift this up to find the ladder and just push it back a little bit. We're going to do the opposite for that for pack away. I'm just going to extend the ladder out enough so I can reach it from the ground, and then we'll pull the ladder all the way out, as far as it will go, and then we're going to use the ladder to pull the second part of the tent out. Shouldn't have to force it, just let it fall by itself and it folds out all by itself. Now we need to make sure this ladder is supporting this end of the tent here, so it's a bit much of an angle there at the moment. So come to the top, press the buttons underneath and just shorten the ladder up so that it sits on the ground and gets the weight off of this end of the tent a little bit, so that when you're sitting on here, the ladder is actually taking the weight. Now there is an alternative way for setting this tent up. If you want to reduce the roof weights or the load on the roof of your tent, you can pack the ladder separately in your vehicle, and that's going to take 7 kilos off of the roof of your vehicle. And you can use this pole as an alternative. So this extends out to be straight and locks into place with this little pin here. And you can use this to lay inside the tent to pull the tent over. This then hangs down like this without the ladder here once it's set up, but you need to then remove this and put the ladder back into place in order to support this end of the tent when you go to use it. From here, we want to climb up the ladder a little bit, and we need to extend this out a little bit so our entrance way's a bit taller. So just extend it out so you loosen a bit of the slack here. It can be better to undo these to pack it away. If they're undone, you'll need to just wrap that around the pole there. And then you've got these latches here to secure both of these poles in place. Now we need to set up the side awnings, but before we do that, I just want to show these sections here, which is just kind of the entrance or the side of the annex here. These are attached by Velcro, so just if that comes apart, you might just need to make sure that that's secured there. And then you've got this buckle here, which loops into the loop on the bottom here. Do that up and tighten it up, and that just gives a bit of tension over the top here for that awning as well. You do have a zipper attachment here, which is for accessories, not included with the tent though. Now the next thing we want to do is set up the side awning here, and it's easiest done from inside the tent. So packed away inside the tent, you will have had, there's 4 of these flexible poles, so you need 1 for each side. So the pointy end of this goes through this gap in the fabric here and into a hole in the frame. Slots in there till it seats firmly into place. Now we bend this back and the hook goes in, the grommet or the eyelet, on the awning here. We grab a second pole and same deal, we bend this back and put the eyelet in the awning through the hook on the pole, and that then creates this weather protected awning over the side of the window here. And we've got double doors here that we can set up however we like, but we've got weather protection. We need to do this on both sides, so I'll repeat the process on the opposite side of the tent. So that's the Yowie Slim all set up. The last thing for you to work out is how you want to configure the doors and windows. So you've got windows each side, you've got a roof, window and vent at the top here, vent at the end, and the door that you're looking through there, all with double panels on it, so you can work out whether you just want the mesh panels closed up, fully open, depending on the climate that you're in. They do also have the storage pocket at the back here and an LED lighting strip that's just attached via Velcro at the back here with a cable with a USB port on it, so you can power that via a USB power bank. Now, one thing to note when you pack this up, because that's what we're moving on to now, is that when this folds up, you do end up with a little bit of storage at the end here. There's not room to store that much bedding in here. 23.0, I've kind of included, I guess, this storage bag here, which gives you an indication of how much storage you've got, around about 20 to 30 centimeters in width and about 15 centimeters in height at the back here. So what you can fit in this long storage bag here is probably what you'll be able to store just along the back of the tent here. But bear in mind, if you put stuff in there and then it comes out too far, you're going to have trouble folding this closed. So it's best to store really low profile or small things back here. Don't try and jam too much in because it's going to hinder the pack up process. Now for pack up, first thing we're going to do is remove the poles out of the side awnings here and put them flat at the storage end of the tent, and then we can collapse the front annex down. We'll come partway down the ladder now. You could do this while you're sitting at the end of the tent as well, but I'm going to release all the Velcro at the end here. It's just less fabric that will get caught up as it packs away. So release the strap on the end, release that Velcro tab there so these sit loose on both sides. Then release this clip here, pole collapses down. So once that's collapsed down, we don't need to push it in. That will go in as we collapse it down with the ladder. These can hang in place, just make sure they're empty because they're going to fold flat inside. We now grab the ladder from down low if you can and just push it up inside itself. As we push that up, the awning folds down on top of the ladder there. Just go nice and slowly and steadily here. Hold the end of the ladder because it wants to start to take over a little bit. You can pivot it a little bit on the frame itself if you like. Push it all the way in until the ladder sits flat like that. If the ladder's not sitting flat like this, it's probably because you've got too much jammed in that end. We now collapse the ladder up. So if we push these two latches here, that releases the bottom section. And then as we push this, the rest of the ladder collapses up on itself. I'll need this strap on the outside of the ladder, so I'm just gonna move that like this. And this will push in all the way. And you can then step up and wrap the strap around the ladder if you want to lock it into place. A couple more steps before we pull the shell down. Firstly, the elastic strap here, we're gonna lift that up to go over the top of the fabric here as best we can. This might get caught up on things on the side there. Include as much of the fabric as you can inside this elastic strap so it pulls inside the tent as we close it down. That's going to make sure it comes inside the outer shell. Now this next step is pretty important. We need to make sure that this frame here, if we lift it up, we can get to the ladder, and we can do up this ladder strap from here if we want. Don't necessarily need to, but we do need to make sure this frame, which is the awning that's set at the front, is pulled forward and sits down over the front of the ladder there. Because they've made this such low profile, we need to save all the space we can for packing it down. So you've just got to pull that forward and lift it down over the front of the ladder there. From this point, we need to grab this strap, and because it's long, we can reach it from the bottom here. Pull the top down, the entire top down. Keep pulling. Eventually the gas struts will stop wanting to pull it upwards and it will just sit firmly down over the top. Just check the sides and make sure there's no fabric sticking out on the edges here. Tuck it in if you do see anything hanging out. I've got nothing, that's packed up really neatly this time round. The strap will just bunch up and tuck up inside here as well. And from that point, we have, it's probably easiest to sort of try and tuck that in. You can feel the mattress when you put your hand in here. Just tuck it in next to the mattress so that it stays in place. And you've got a bit of a ledge up there to hang on to. To tuck it onto. So from this point, we're going to do these latches up. So a little bit of downward pressure or pulling down on the strap that's included here. So this loops over the bottom latch there. And then we grab our pin and put it in this hole here so that latch is now locked into place. Do that on all 4 latches, and that's the tent packed away. That is the setup and pack away process for the Yowie Slim rooftop tent. A very sleek looking rooftop tent with a lower profile than the original version, while allowing extra width and length, but a small pack size for dual cabs and tub racks. The Yowie Slim rooftop tent from 230. Check him out online at snowies.com.au.